Habiba had always been a woman of depth. Born into a loving Sikh family of Indian heritage, she spent her childhood in the United Kingdom surrounded by warmth, discipline, and care. Her parents worked hard to raise her with strong values, honesty, integrity, and perseverance. Life seemed complete. She had everything a young woman could hope for: a secure home, education, and the comfort of knowing her family would always be there for her. But deep inside, there was an emptiness she could never explain. Even as a child, Habiba felt a strange pull towards something greater than herself, a hunger for spiritual truth. She often found herself looking at the sky, wondering about the one who created it all. She had many questions, but no answers that satisfied her soul. As she grew older, her search for truth became more deliberate. She explored different philosophies and religions, hoping one would provide her with the inner peace she longed for. At one point, she visited a Hindu ashram, listening to teachings and meditating, but the tranquility she found there was fleeting. Her upbringing emphasized worldly success. "Work hard, study well, and live honestly," her father would say. And so she excelled academically and entered university with determination. But university life also brought with it a secular culture that pulled her away from any form of spirituality. Habiba began to dress however she pleased, attended parties, and drank alcohol. She was free, or so she thought. In reality, she was more lost than ever. The first time Habiba heard about Islam, her heart did not warm to it. Instead, it filled with fear and skepticism. The media's portrayal of war, oppression, and conflict painted Islam as a dangerous religion. Words like Allahu Akbar, which should have been beautiful, sounded frightening to her because of the way they were presented in news headlines. In her mind, Muslim men were harsh, controlling, and unkind to women. She believed Muslim women lived under forced rules, trapped in hijab, silenced in their homes, denied their basic rights. Islam is regressive, she would think. It holds women back. But Allah had a different plan for her heart. Out of curiosity, and perhaps a little defiance, Habiba decided to study Islam more seriously. She thought she would find proof to confirm her biases. Instead, she found the opposite. She began by listening to online lectures about women's rights in Islam. Then she came across a book called Haqq al-Nisa, The Rights of Women in Islam, published by Darussalam. This book shook her understanding to the core. It explained how, long before the world spoke of women's liberation, Islam had already given women the right to own property, receive a dowry, be honored as mothers, inherit wealth, and be treated with dignity in marriage and divorce. The truth hit her like a wave. It wasn't Islam that oppressed women. It was society, culture, and the misuse of religion by people. Islam was the solution, not the problem. The more she learned, the more she admired Islam's balance. Neither extreme leniency nor oppression, but justice. She saw that Islam not only recognized a woman's worth, but elevated her status. And with every page, her heart softened. She began to imagine a life where her identity was not defined by societal trends, but by obedience to the one who created her. Slowly, the barriers she had built began to crumble. Her first visit to Green Lane Mosque changed everything. Expecting coldness or judgment, she was surprised to be greeted with warmth and smiles. Women in abayas and hijabs walked confidently, not as prisoners, but as women of dignity. They laughed, shared stories, and treated her as a sister, even though she wasn't Muslim yet.
For the first time, she had a genuine conversation with a Muslim woman. The encounter broke all her stereotypes. She realized these women were not oppressed, they were empowered. At her next visit to the mosque, her heart felt ready. Surrounded by 60 to 70 people, Habiba stood up and said the words that would change her life forever. "I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger." As the Arabic words left her tongue, a calmness descended upon her. It felt as if a heavy burden had been lifted. She was reborn, cleansed of every sin. Tears welled up in her eyes, not of sadness, but of relief. The journey ahead would not be easy, but she knew she was on the path of truth. Habiba's family's reaction was devastating. They could not understand her decision. The emotional distance grew, and soon she felt the painful reality of losing the people she had loved her whole life. Her marriage, too, began to unravel. Disagreements grew into cracks, and cracks became walls. Eventually, divorce came, leaving her as a single mother of 3 young children. There were nights when she lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering how life had come to this. She felt isolated, financially strained, and emotionally broken. Thoughts of giving up whispered in her mind, but in her heart, she held on to one truth: Allah never abandons his servants. One night, the pain became unbearable. Sitting alone in her car, she felt torn between despair and faith. She tried calling friends for comfort, but no one answered. In that stillness, she realized she had been depending too much on people and not enough on Allah. With trembling hands, she recited Ayatul Kursi 3 times. Tears streamed down her face as she made dua. "Ya Allah, keep me on the straight path. If I am to die, let me die as a Muslim." In that moment, something shifted. Her heart felt steady, unshakable. She knew, without a doubt, that Islam was the truth, and no trial could take it away from her. There were moments when she missed her family so deeply that it physically hurt. She longed for her father's protection, her brother's reassurance, her mother's gentle presence. She wished they could see her children, witness their milestones, share in their laughter. But she accepted that Allah was teaching her patience through this absence. She continued to love her family and pray for their guidance, trusting that Allah's plan was always better than her own. One night, when sadness weighed heavy on her, Habiba went to check on her children as they slept. She looked at her daughter's peaceful face, then at her 2 sons, breathing softly in the quiet room. It struck her these children were a trust from Allah, a living sign of His mercy. The Quranic reminder echoed in her mind, "Be grateful." Gratitude swelled in her heart, washing away the despair. She realized that even in hardship, she was surrounded by blessings. Habiba drew immense inspiration from the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His kindness, especially towards women, stood in sharp contrast to the misconceptions she once held. She learned of the time a companion invited him to dinner, but did not include Aisha radiallahu anha, and the Prophet gently declined, a subtle yet profound act of fairness. Through studying Yasser Qazi's detailed biography of the Prophet, she discovered his deep empathy, his care for his wives, and his humility, even in times of personal pain. These lessons shaped her understanding of what true love, justice, and mercy look like. Before Islam, Habiba's dreams were simple: to live comfortably, to return to the security of home. After Islam, her purpose transformed entirely. Her ultimate goal became the pleasure of Allah and a place in Jannah. She realized this world was temporary, a brief stop before the eternal journey. Her trials were no longer meaningless pain, they were steps towards a greater reward. For those who felt the truth of Islam but feared losing their family's approval, Habiba offered heartfelt advice. Your ultimate destination is Jannah. Don't trade eternal happiness for temporary comfort. Even a small amount of sincere faith, nurtured through learning, will protect you when doubts come. Take your strength from Allah, not from people. She urged them to seek knowledge daily, even in small amounts, and to keep their intentions pure. When Satan tries to confuse you, she would say, "Turn to Allah. O Allah, guide me on the straight path." Don't ask if you should embrace Islam to please others. Ask if you can afford to miss Jannah for the sake of temporary approval. Today, Habiba serves at the Green Lane Mosque and works with various organizations to help others. Her past struggles have become the foundation of her strength. She's a mother, a servant of Allah, and a source of inspiration for anyone who thinks it's too late to change. Her journey proves that no matter where you begin, Allah can guide you to a place of honor, dignity, and peace. And that sometimes the road to light begins in the darkest moments, if only you turn your face towards Him.